My name's Neal Wankoff, owner of Prairie IT Services. We are based near North and Harlem and Oak Park. We service businesses all around Chicago with their IT and technology needs. I wanted to kind of give you a couple stories about cybersecurity. The other day, I went to the Honda dealership, had to get some service work done, sitting in the waiting area, and I thought, being owner, get some work done, pulled out my laptop, decided to connect to their guest wireless network. But I'm curious. I'm in IT. I like to know what's going on. Find out the IP address of their router, plug it into the web browser. I get a login for a Comcast modem. I decide maybe they're not, updating. I put in the default username and password. I'm in their modem. You could think that a malicious person might be able to do something. So, how many people here in sales? A few of us, right? Well, my friend Joe, the salesman, not the plumber. He finishes up with the client. It's a good day. He made the sale. Goes to a coffee shop, not Fanny's, but another one. He logs into the wireless network because he wants to see, hey, the commission check hit yet. He made the sale like an hour ago. But being a salesman, he wants to know, did I get it already? And pulls out his laptop, connects to the wireless network, logs into his bank account. A little disappointed, but expects the commission check will be there eventually. A little later, he gets a text from the bank. Hey, transaction $900 exceeded your warning limit. And he's freaking out. Honey, calls his wife. Honey, what'd you do? What'd you buy? We're trying to save some dollars. I didn't buy anything. Wasn't me. Calls the bank, finds out fraudulent transaction. Call, they're going to investigate it. They're going to try to get his money back. Call the police. It exceeds, a limit, felony limit. They put in an investigation. He's out some money. His bank account is frozen. So there's some definite things you need to consider around cybersecurity. I'm going to pass around a sheet here that has some information, hopefully that you'll be able to take away and use right away about how to take care of yourself, take care of your business, take care of your personal work, your family. We should not be hacked. We should not be taken advantage of online. Hiscox Insurance, in their 2018 State of Cybersecurity report, found that 40% of the businesses that they surveyed that had less than 50 employees, 47% of them had at least one cyber incident in 2018. I think we're all here, a lot of us work for small businesses, have small businesses. It's a huge risk. Something in the order of 60% of businesses that had a cyber incident, small businesses, go out of business in 6 months. So we have to start taking responsibility for ourselves, and hopefully, we have some takeaways today. The number one avenue for account hijacking and computer infiltration is email. Do not click. Do not click on anything until you've thought about it, looked at it, and made sure that it's legit. The emails are crafted to get you to have an emotional response so that you're doing something that you're not clicking. Or they're counting on you being busy and not thinking and clicking. When you get an email that says you have an invoice, and then in the invoice is another link, and you click on that, what is it doing? It's going out to the internet, and it may be pulling down something malicious, trying to convince you to enter your email credentials, to release an invoice or release a package, and then you've given access to your data. Here's a story a true story. Client calls me up. Hey, we're having some funny. I'm emailing back and forth with they're in finance. You can just leave it here. We're been asked to change the bank for a wire. Stop. Don't make any change. Pick up the phone if you're being asked to do something that you feel uncomfortable with, or anything, to be honest, related to wires, gift cards. Pick up the phone. Call the person. Walk down the hallway. Wait till they get back into the office and verify. This is happening too much. Wire fraud. Have some more controls. Don't let this happen to you. Fortunately, by the way, the wire did not go through. We did not make the change, and the person, we were able to evict the person from the account. Double check the email address if it's something that you feel uncomfortable with. These people are very sly. They might change one character, or it might say Monica in the name, but the actual email address might be something completely different. So we have to be real careful. We have too much trust. By nature, humans are very trusting, I believe. We need to just be a little less trusting of what comes off our computers. You have to be aware of what the latest scams are online. Find some training program, subscribe to something, or just spend a little bit of time every month just reading up on this, because it's too dangerous. Online, there is one antivirus vendor, ESET. They do offer some sort of free online training. So keep that in mind. If you have staff, if they're doing financial work for you, you definitely want them to be aware of these things. Keep your systems up to date. You need to regularly patch, install Windows updates for your applications, your operating systems, your phones. So when Microsoft releases an update for a vulnerability that's been exposed, as soon as the hackers know about that, they're crafting exploits so that they can take advantage of your computers. So if you give them an opportunity, have someone do it, make it automatic, or set a scheduled task for yourself in whatever application that you use to do this on a regular basis, whether it be every week or every month, and do that for all the computers. And if you have a wireless router, that needs to get done. If you have a firewall, that needs to get done. All the devices. We're coming up on the end of life for Windows 7, which means at that point, Microsoft is not going to promise to release security patches for Windows 7. So if you have Windows 7 in your environment, by the end of this year, it needs to be gone, because in January, it's going to start becoming more and more exposed to potential threats. So, hey, you got the email. It had some malicious attachment or a link to malicious attachment. You click on it. You're running as administrator. That means every application on your computer has the ability to run at the same level of the person that's logged in. So you're basically giving them carte blanche. Don't run as an administrator. Have a second account that you can use, to install applications. Run as a lower level user. That way, if you make a mistake, you're not giving them complete access. It's something that's also going to cause you to be a little more conscious about what you do. You don't have to install everything. And if you install it, you can uninstall it. Not only are these applications potentially, vulnerable, it's like we have Adobe Reader, a lot of these ubiquitous applications are constantly trying to be exploited by hackers. And if you don't update them, that's a problem. Plus, it might make your computer run a little faster. Who here has 3 or 4 passwords that they use everywhere? All right, so, And you know, if one of those databases are being breached all the time online, and if those databases get leaked onto parts of the internet, you might find that those passwords are found, and people might attempt to log into different accounts with those passwords in your email address. So that's not a good thing. You know, so create. So you know, you can go online very inexpensively, less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. You can use a password manager online. You can take it with you. They're very secure, and then you just store your passwords in there, and it's real easy, and it's much safer than having just a handful of passwords, and better than writing them down. Two-factor authentication. Does everyone know what two-factor authentication is? Yeah, Pete does. Definitely Pete does. Two-factor authentication is critical on email. So two-factor authentication means you need two ways of logging in. Typically, username, password, and a text message with a code, or it could be an application, or it could be a key, a USB thumb key that you put in your computer. So if you accidentally lose your credentials because you were tricked, because we're honest, you know, we make mistakes, they're not going to be able to as easily get in because they're going to need this other key, this other code. So really consider doing that. A lot of websites, a lot of email hosts are doing it, like Gmail. It's just done. But if you have Office 365, you really need to enable it. Your computers, Macs, Windows, so easy to encrypt the hard drive. You know, with the Windows computer, there's one checkbox, and it starts encrypting hard drive. Why is that important? You know, hard drive's in my house. You know, I have my laptop with me. Hey, anything should happen to it. You know, someone could take out your laptop hard drive, put it in their computer, and read it. You know, like it was their own external hard drive. So we need to encrypt these devices. They've got financial information, they've got personal information, they've got client information. We don't want to lose that. We want to protect it, you know, at all costs. And this is just a matter of enabling. So we got to do that. With your phones, you've got to encrypt your Android. You've got to encrypt your iPhone. The Android, I have on here how to do it. The iPhone, just use a 6-digit passcode instead of a 4-digit passcode, and always use passcodes on your phones. Because you know, you don't, and so you lose it, someone picks it up, they're logging in, they're looking through your emails, they're sending emails as you. I mean, it's terrible. And if something malicious gets through, at least you have antivirus, right? Up to date, paid for, you know, with a subscription that's running all the time, that's going to, you know, catch 95% of the other stuff that gets through. Yeah, hopefully you're not doing anything online that's going to, you know, be embarrassing, or, you know, maybe you have games that you like to play. You know, just separate your work and your play computers. Have two. It's worth it. If you're curious about what's going on the internet and you want to go to different parts of the internet, have a separate computer. Don't make that your work computer. It's just too dangerous. You know, don't use cracked applications. Don't use, you know, if you don't know what that is, you know, don't download an application you didn't buy for, and then download a key cracker, and those things are riddled with viruses. You're not going to get enough benefit out of this other application. You know, so many things are based on subscriptions, so just pay the $10 a month or $15 a month, and if you don't like it, you know, but if it's got a business case, then, you know, just pay for it. It's worth it. We all have wireless access points in our houses. We have them at our businesses, and you know, we put them in the wall, ceiling, or we put them on, you know, under a desk, and we forget about them. Well, encryption changes over time. They get more sophisticated. The encryption gets vulnerable because, you know, some researcher found a way to get around it. So we need to update these devices about every 3 to 4 years, and firewalls. They're just not secure anymore after that amount of time, generally. And they're not that expensive, and it's worth having the peace of mind. Also, Like going back to my earlier story, what can we do to protect ourselves when we're at a public Wi-Fi? We're at an airport, we're at a coffee shop, we're in a hotel. Hackers will set up rogue wireless access points so that it looks like it's the hotel. They might even have the same passkey as the hotel, but it's running something. It's running on their own access point. And they can see your internet traffic like it's clear text, and they know how to find your username and password. So you can subscribe to a VPN service. Again, it's like $3 a month, It's not expensive. And when you connect to a wireless network, when you're away from your office, you're at home, you run the VPN, and it's encrypted. It's a virtual private network. So you're running that on their wireless network. You're encrypted, and you're much safer that way. And then lastly, you've got to back up your data. You've got to back it up religiously. You've got to keep it in 2 separate places, whether that's at your office and in the cloud, or at the office and at home. I like the cloud services. I feel they're very secure, and I know I have secured my data there. So once you back it up, how sure are you that it's done? Are you checking? Are you restoring, doing test restores? Restore a file once in a while. Did it happen? Can I go back do I need to go back 3 months? Can I get a file from 3 months ago? Do I need to restore my whole PC, or do I just need to restore files and folders? You might want to check if you can restore the whole PC once a year to a test machine. So we've got so many exploits in the world that are happening every day. If you look, Radiohead was just hacked. I don't know if you know the band Radiohead. They just lost 18 hours of demos. They were being blackmailed. There's someone's selfies that were revealing. She lost access to those. She had to post those because she was being blackmailed. City of Baltimore, ransomware, shut down the whole city government. This is going on something like 5 weeks. They're still not completely back up. So we have so many vulnerabilities. Like a house, you put locks on all those doors. Equifax, another great example.
Credit bureaus, 145 million identities were stolen about a year ago. It's pretty scary.
So you got to put the locks on the door. Can't make yourself 100% secure, but let's make it so, like most burglars, they just move on to the easier target. So let's let them pass over us. Go to the next one. If you have a lot of locks on, a determined burglar, they can still get in, but they're not going to. Most of the time, they're just going to go to the next house. So hopefully I've given you some things to think about. I'm not trying to scare you guys, and there's a lot to do, but let's start making it so that we're not the victims.
Good stuff, Neal. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. Did anyone have any questions? Sorry. Go ahead, Monica.
My question was, if you have an older Mac, for example, and you factory reset it, does it really wipe everything out if you factory reset?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure, but if you do that, you can download for free some applications that will wipe it out. Not to like Department of Defense level, you pay a little bit for that, but it will actually overwrite everything. And then you can boot into the Mac recovery, and then reinstall if you wanted to hand it off to someone else. But I would not just trust the recovery. No, I would not. If you had sensitive data on there. If you didn't, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, you mentioned phones a little bit, but people install apps on their phones every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Most people probably have hundreds. What's the vulnerability on phones these days?
I would say that iPhone is relatively secure. I'd say they vet their app store. Google Play Store, on the other hand, is the Wild West. They don't do any vetting. You can install things that take your data. With iPhones as well, you have to be careful about what permissions you're giving to the applications. Phones can get viruses as well. I actually haven't come across it, but I've heard of it. So Google Play Store, be real careful. That's for the Android phones.
How does your business actually work? I mean,
How does, okay. I'm a managed service provider, so most of my customers hire me and they pay me on a per month basis. So like a subscription, I take care of everything soup to nuts. So I bring in, I advise them on security, I advise them on new desktops, I advise them on, and then when there's a problem, it's all included, support and service. And
so do you come in and sort of analyze what's going on now and what areas they need to improve and then do it, or?
well, we have help desk, we have standards and best practices that we apply. Then we, deploy all the, antivirus, the patch to update your computers, and we take care of all the devices. And then we do strategic roadmaps and budget planning with our customers. So that's all included. We'll do time and materials too for our friends.
How long you been doing this, and what do you love about what you do?
I've been doing IT for 20 years. I've been in business for 5 on my own. I love helping people. I've always loved computers. When I was 13, I got, back in the 80s, I got my first computer. I was just always curious about, even before then, my brothers, were doing the punch cards, and they'd bring home their manuals from college, and I tried to understand it. So I've always had an interest in it, always loved it. And, it's been fruitful. Yeah, another thing one thing I didn't mention, and because this was going more into privacy, but just don't put that much stuff online. You don't have to tell. You can put down, this is a picture of my mother on Facebook. You don't have to give her, her maiden name. So to your point, just one story is that I just read, I saw a video yesterday, I think it was on WGN. It's called the Obituary Scan. People put too much information in these obituaries, and people can do things like open up bank accounts in your name because they have some of the sensitive information. So we have to be real careful. And you make the point of an example of when these databases of online, credentials on online sites, and sometimes you don't even know the name of it because they're affiliated with the business that you're doing some sort of transaction with. Their databases get breached, they get hacked, they get leaked into an area called the dark web. Then these, extortionists will send out emails to people who are in these database breaches, threatening them that they have, some sort of inside control of your computer. Don't respond to any ransomware, in my opinion, or any kind of extortion. You haven't been hacked. They're just trying to play on you and take advantage of you. I see it all the time. It's
In my
really
situation,
unfortunate.
They had my password, so that was kind of concerning.
Right,
So
yeah.
all I did was went ahead and changed my password.
Right. But that's the thing. If you had different passwords on all your websites and one got breached, you wouldn't have that much concern. There's one second. There's also very common. Your service might even provide this. I provide this. It's called the dark web scan. So I have a subscription to an online database that these people go out into the dark web and try to grab the same database that they're using. I can let you know if you have any credentials out there. I do it by either the email or by the domains. Just don't send me 10,000 people.
Yeah, we can monitor the dark web as well for your information, as well as hundreds of other,
Right.
type databases.
I've gotten Facebook posts from dead friends.
Wow. Interesting.
Were they taken?
Chicago
or
voters.
not?
It could be like the son or the daughter or someone like that just wanted to post one more thing under their name or something.
This is where I may post something and I'll get a like from
Yeah.
my friend Carol, who's gone for 4 years.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Is that connected to this dark web?
It could be.
And
It could be.
I don't know if it's my thing it's been messed with, or whether it's her thing that they picked up her identity or.
Right. Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna say is, it's not just the emails that look suspicious. I think it's the emails that look exactly not suspicious, like the ones from your bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
That they're made to look exactly like they're
Yeah.
from your bank. And then, I've got taken in, and I think I'm pretty savvy, but man, they
Right.
look exactly like it, and then you're like, what? And then by the time you go to change your password, like, or GoDaddy.
Mhm.
GoDaddy just recently got hacked. Did you know that?
No, I didn't hear that one.
Did you, oh, we need you to change your email. You click to change your email.
It's not GoDaddy, it's just something.
But
Yeah.
so the thing to look at
The
is
main one.
always the email of where it's coming from.
Here's another good tip too.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go to the website? Don't click.
Yeah.
Go to the
Yeah.
browser. All right, hopefully everyone knows how to put the web address in the web browser. Just go and put in GoDaddy, Chase.com, UPS. Don't trust that someone sent
I don't
you.
think
You
knew it
received
was
the
Chase.
email.
Without me saying it.
I
Million
have Chase, so that's just top of mind. Yeah, Wells Fargo. I mean, they're couple of the biggest banks. So yeah, they're gonna. They know that if they send Target.
The banks will never send you an email saying we're gonna lock you out.
Right.
It's
Right.
not the practice.
Oh, that's not even it. It's
Well,
like
Dell-
change your email.
I get
They get smart.
that, supposedly from Dell all the time. And I know that Dell doesn't do that.
Call Dell. Open up the browser. Put in Dell. If you have an account, just log in yourself. You don't have to click on the link. Yeah. They're very shady. And here's a lot of them they're obviously written poorly, but apparently it's on purpose. They're looking for the gullible. They're looking for the easily conned. They're not looking for the hard jobs. They're looking for the easy money. Thank you.